Oh, it's definitely earned me more money. Just like Decatur, they were paying 70 cents more for summer corn there in August. We were hauling corn 100 mile for 40 cents, and we're making 30 cents, and I wouldn't even known that price was probably on there. I wouldn't have thought of calling Decatur, but when you go to the Grower's Edge page, then it takes all that running around out of it for you.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills, this is Logan Burgess. Today is Tuesday the 13th. We had the market trading a bit higher here. Corn for July trading up 2 3/4 cents. Soybeans trading up 19 cents on the day, and wheat in Chicago down 5 1/4 cents. Logan, big story here, of course, soybeans with that big move. A lot of volatility in that front month contract. What's the reason behind it?
Well, I think one story that was helping out U.S. beans today was news out of China. As we know, the Chinese are going to be selling soybeans out of state reserves, and today they announced there would be a floor price on that auction higher than what traders had expected. That helped out domestic prices in China. We saw the September soybean contract on the Dalian exchange trade up about 1.5%. Certainly could have been some spillover into Chicago in today's action. Anytime you see that, that tends to support U.S. prices. And additionally, just some technical rebounding after a relatively weak day yesterday.
So if you're a producer here, I think the question folks would be asking is, do you price around these levels? Obviously, it's been very volatile, but what's your insight there?
Yeah, well, I guess the volatility here on the old crop beans is certainly going to continue. Last Friday from the USDA, we saw both exports and imports raise, so that's really an indication that there's a lot of chaos here in the old crop bean market. In an exceptionally volatile market like this, it's very hard to pick a top, so I think you kind of have to put a price target in mind, and I think this is the kind of market where you sell on little rallies like this. If you can approach $15 a bushel on the old crop, I think that's a great spot to sweep the bins out and put the old crop to rest here, focus on the new crop, because as I said, it's going to be a very volatile summer, and right now technically it's looking like a bit of a weaker picture here for the old crop. As I said, I mean, take a look at $14.90 to $15 if we can get another run up. Me personally, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. Now, we also have an interesting situation developing in wheat, where we have Minneapolis wheat trading higher on the day. We have Kansas City wheat unchanged, and Chicago wheat trading lower. Now, what's the situation? Really, we have obviously the dryness, the heat, and the crop losses that we've experienced in Kansas City, or for that Kansas City wheat in the Southern Plains areas. But now we're getting a development of planting concerns for the spring wheat area in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. Now, the situation here, it looks as though for the next couple days, really next 3-4 days, we're going to get a window of opportunity for producers to get out there and start rolling those planters. But when you look at the 6 to 10 day outlook here, you'll notice it looks as though it's going to be more precipitation than normal. I think that is cause for concern here, especially when you look at crop insurance deadlines here for the southern part of Minnesota, somewhere around the 4th week in May, and in northern parts of the region, it's somewhere around the 1st week of June. So we still have time, but it looks as though that 6 to 10 day forecast is really going to be putting a little bit of pressure here on planting. That's a story that we're going to want to continue to pay attention to. I think it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely, Cody. Well, in tomorrow's action, a lot of focus will be on the EIA ethanol numbers out. Today, a relatively quiet day for the corn market. Not a lot to talk about in terms of fundamentals. Take a look here, though, at the weekly ethanol crush margin for Iowa. As you can see now, back below $3 per bushel after the exceptional run in the crush margin we saw during the month of April. Obviously, this is not good for weekly production figures here moving forward. Generally, during the summer, we tend to see relatively strong production figures, so I wouldn't expect ethanol production to fall out of bed. But with the crush margin now back below $3 a bushel, it doesn't give that real incentive to crush corn right now. We'll have to see what tomorrow's number brings, but I guess looking at the crush margin here, wouldn't expect an overly robust report out tomorrow from the EIA.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and if you have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call at 877-472-4607. Remember, you can take a demo of the mobile trading platform and monitor the markets while you're in the field there or in the tractor. So give us a call, and we'd be happy to set you up with a demo. Thanks a lot. We'll see you here tomorrow.